Okay, so for the few people here who know what this game is, then props to you. As for everyone else, I would like to introduce to y'all one of the most underrated Nintendo Wii games. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ryan Kelly, and today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite childhood games, and that game is of course Excitebots. Now you might be thinking to yourself, I feel like I've heard of another Nintendo game that has the word excited in it. Well, you have. That game is Excitebikes. Yeah, that's right, Excitebots is in the same series as Excitebikes. You know, the NES launch title. Now you're probably thinking, what is Excitebots and why should I play it? Well, I'm going to be answering those questions in this video, and I'm going to be showing off everything that I can to show you guys how amazing this game is. Excitebots is the fourth and most recent installment in the Excite series. The game was released on April 20th, 2009, and came out for the Nintendo Wii. It's a racing game that is unlike any of the other games in the series. In the other titles, you are either racing on bikes or in trucks, but in Excitebots, you're racing as animal robots, and your goal is to beat the other animal robots by getting first place. This concept is way out there compared to the other titles in the series. I mean, you're racing as a robot turtle and frogs. What drugs are these developers on? Oh, now I get why Excitebots came out on 4/20. All jokes aside, even though this is a huge change in the series, I think it's actually what makes this game, in my opinion, better than the other titles in the series. It was willing to change up its formula, unlike some other games I know. This game is surprisingly full of great content. Yeah, this game is not just a generic racing game. It has a racing mode, obviously, as well as some other mini-games that I'll get into later. Before you even get to play the Excite Race mode, you gotta make yourself a dope account. Okay, let's see. What do I want to name this account? Okay, Ryan, it's gotta be something that makes you look like you're a professional YouTuber. Ah, yes! I'll call this account Blaze It.
Boo! You stink!
Okay, so now it's time to choose our icon. So many choices. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the axe. It's just too cool to not choose. Okay, so now that I've done that, we can start the Excite Race mode. Excite Race is the single-player racing mode in the game where you unlock other vehicles, minigames, maps, and even the online mode, which I'll get into later. When you are playing through Excite Race for the first time, you have to start out in the School Cup, which is pretty much a tutorial part of the game that no one likes. You can either choose to race the first course, being Mexico, or you could choose to do that training segment. I would rather eat an extremely hot pepper, I don't know, maybe a habanero pepper, than doing that training mode.
Alright, here we go. Eating.
Is it bad?
Hold on. Holy shit! Oh! Oh! Oh!
So we'll start in Mexico. Okay, so what are our vehicle options? Okay, so we can play as a frog, beetle, ladybug, bat, turtle, grasshopper, mouse, or a praying mantis. So as you can see, there's a diverse amount of animals that you can race as at the start of the game. I'm definitely going to have to race as a turtle because that was my homie in my original playthrough of this game. Once you choose your vehicle, you can also customize the color of the vehicle so that you can look like the coolest blue turtle on the track. Now, you might be wondering, how are the races? These races are drastically different from any other racing game that I've seen. The races have a bunch of different type of gimmicks, like the fact that they put mini-games into the race that you can do to get more points. While you're racing, you can go and drive into a soccer ball and try to hit it into the goal net. Doing this will get you 5 stars. They have some other mini-games like football, darts, bowling, throwing a pie at a clown? How much weed did they smoke to come up with these ideas? Anyway, there's also these yellow and red bars for boost and for getting you more points. Speaking of points, there are stars that you can collect to get your final score higher. The more points you get, the higher the rank you get. The ranks are rank D, C, B, A, and S. You can only get a rank S if you get over the required point goal. Not only do these points affect your race rank, but it also counts as money in this game. As you get more stars, you're able to buy new colors and get new vehicles, being the ant, centipede, crab, hornet, hummingbird, lizard, lobster, roach, scorpion, spider, and squid. As for locations you can race in Kilimanjaro, Guatemala, Fiji, Canada, China, Egypt, Finland, Scotland, and Mexico. You start in the School Cup, and then you go to the Bronze Cup, to Silver, Gold, and then finally Platinum. Once you played Excite Race all the way through and got rank cats on all the courses, then you're able to unlock Super Excite. In this mode, you can unlock more vehicles as well as a new cup to race in, being the Crystal Cup. And my goodness, if you want a challenge, then try to get a rank S on this course. It is nearly impossible. I remember grinding this course over and over just so I could unlock the hidden vehicle Boulder, which is from Excite Trucks, the previous game in the series. Okay, so that's everything about the Excite Race. Now it's time to get into the other minigames. Poker Race is a mode where you can race and play poker at the same time. Your goal is to try to get the most stars out of everyone else, and the only way to do that is by getting good hands. Like a royal flush, a straight flush, a full house,
Whatever happened to predictability?
and etc. I think that this is by far the most creative thing in the game. I wonder why this isn't a thing in real life. I feel like it could be really entertaining. I mean, it's not like it's extremely dangerous or anything. The minigame mode is where you get to choose any minigame that is present in the game and try to go through 8 rounds of that minigame and try to get the most amount of stars possible. The minigames that you can play are bowling, football, soccer, baseball, darts, the bar challenge, glider, and hand escape? What the I feel like this mode is the best to play with your friends because it is stupid competitive. I remember my friends and I spent at least 2 or 3 hours just playing that stupid bowling game so we could try to get a perfect score. That was always fun. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the online mode. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Now this is where I spent most of my time playing this game. Online you can race players just like any other racing game. But what makes it stand out compared to the other racing games that I've played is that you can bet stars on a race. For example, you can bet 2,500 stars that you'll win the race. And if you do win, then you'll get double that amount that you bet. But if you lose, then you'll lose those stars that you bet. Unfortunately, I can't get this footage because the Wii's online mode has been discontinued.
In the arms of the angel, fly away.
This is where I would get all of my stars so that I could get those bad bot customizations. I mean, I just had to have that cowboy costume for my turtle, or be that punk rock spider. The online mode was pretty much the only real way of getting a ton of stars. If you try to do it online, then good luck because that is pretty much impossible. The online mode was by far the best thing about this game, and now that it's gone, it is very upsetting. Overall, the online mode was great, and I wish they could turn the Wii's online mode back on just for one day so I can enjoy that online mode one more time. Out of all the racing games that I've played, I've never seen a racing game that was willing to add so many quirky gimmicks that I feel really worked out well for the series. It took a lot of risks by changing up its formula, and it was worth it because I feel that this game is by far the best one out of the 4 Excite games. I definitely would recommend that you go and check this game out. I promise you won't regret it. I mean, it's only $12. It's a fourth of the price of a 3DS game. I honestly don't know why Nintendo hasn't made a sequel to this game yet. My friends and I had a great time playing this game, and I know that I would buy the sequel the second it came out. And it's a good way to get people to go and check out the Excite series. Now, if I was to rate this game from a 1 being the worst game ever, and a 10 being the best game ever, I would rate it an 8 out of 10. This game has a bunch of stuff to do in it. It has a bunch of different bots you can choose from, as well as a bunch of different customizations. And the way that the races actually work are really creative and stand out. Like minigames in a race, I've never seen a game do that before, or at least a racing game anyway. And it had one of the best online modes that I've ever played to this date. It was the only thing that made the Wii's online mode worth it, because we all know how playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl was online. So I have one last thing to say about Excitebots, and that's the reason why I got the game and how I found out about it. So when I was a younger kid, I had a babysitter, and my babysitter would drive my brother to a friend's house or drive me to a friend's house. So we were driving to my brother's friend's house, and everything went fine, and he got dropped off. So we're heading back from my brother's friend's house. We were driving down the street and we came into a 4-way intersection. We didn't have a stop sign, but the other car did. So we were just driving and the other lady was texting on her phone and didn't pay attention to the stop sign and T-boned us. That was one of the most terrifying experiences as a kid. It was all worth it though because I had no injuries, and when my dad came to pick me up, he said that we could go to a Best Buy because there's one right next to the intersection. So we went to that Best Buy and he told me that I could buy any game that I wanted. And I looked around and I had found a new game that I'd never heard of before. And it was called Excitebots. So I bought Excitebots and some Peanut movies because, you know, why not? And I still remember the first time I played that game. It was so incredibly fun and so quirky that I knew I was going to spend hours of my time getting into this game and playing it. I hope that I made y'all excited to play Excitebots.
Boo! You stink!
Get it. Oh my god, yes. Yes. This is good. Oh, this is a good run. Yes. Yes. Woo. Oh yeah, baby.